Hello and welcome to Revolutions, the show that focuses on car and motorcycle events throughout the GTA. In this episode, we've got a special feature on the Honda Indy Toronto. Simply put, it's one of the best racing events in the entire country. The Honda Indy Toronto. It's Ontario's largest annual sporting event and is situated on the streets that surround Exhibition Place, which is not far from the downtown core. As part of the IndyCar series, the Honda Indy Toronto is just one event from an entire season's worth of racing. It draws tens of thousands of fans in each year, and all kinds of people come out to watch the racing, including motorsport enthusiasts and those simply interested in having a good time. Of course, fans also get the opportunity to see world-famous drivers compete right before their eyes. Drivers like Brazil's Tony Kanaan, Scottish driver Dario Franchitti, Will Power from Australia, Montreal's own Alex Tagliani, Scarborough, Ontario's Paul Tracy, and American driver Danica Patrick, one of the most popular female race car drivers. In addition to these Indy cars and their world-famous drivers, fans also get to see other types of motorsport competition, including NASCAR racing, the Indy Lights cars, and even touring cars. No matter what the class is, all drivers competing in the Honda Indy Toronto will race on this track, approximately 2.8 kilometers in length, which is about 1 3/4 miles. The racetrack is literally comprised of city streets and has 11 turns. The course begins with a straightaway that leads into a hard right-hand corner for turn 1. The cars exit a gradual right corner at turn 2 and then devour a long straightaway on Lakeshore Boulevard. At the end of the long straight, the cars brake hard for a right corner into turn 3, which is taken at approximately 45 degrees. Turn 3 slopes upward into a soft left at turn 4. Then the drivers make another left at turn 5, this time at roughly 90 degrees. Turn 6 and Turn 7 are both gradual right-hand corners and lead the cars through Manitoba Drive. The drivers exit through another hard right-hand corner at Turn 8 and then head down Nova Scotia Drive towards Turn 9. A sweeping left through turn 9 sends the drivers through a sweeping right at turn 10, essentially making an S shape. Once the drivers clear the Honda Bridge, there's just one more left-hand corner at turn 11 before they head down a straightaway towards the start-finish line and then down again to turn 1 to begin another lap. In addition to the excellent racing, visitors to the Indy can also check out the race team trailers and mobile garages. That's where the cars and the drivers are when they're not competing. Fans can observe the race mechanics as they work on the cars, get a glimpse of the drivers as they talk things over with their teams, and even get an autograph. There are lots of other outdoor attractions that visitors can check out too. This fairgrounds section of the Indy is like a festival, and there are dozens of tents to visit. Indy attendees can even take their picture with the Blue Jays World Series trophy. The Honda Indy Toronto features several indoor attractions as well. There are new Hondas and Acuras on display, race memorabilia, a racing arcade, and even a collection of mid-engined Acura NSX supercars. which were developed and engineered by Honda. Now, we'll head over to Victory Circle, where the winner of the Honda Indy Toronto comes to celebrate a hard-earned victory. Indy cars have approximately 650 horsepower, a top speed of 370 kilometers an hour, or 230 miles per hour, and can accelerate from 0 to 100 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds. It takes a huge amount of skill just to drive these cars properly, let alone win a race. This is Will Power celebrating a recent victory in Toronto. Once they arrive at Victory Circle, the third place, second place, and first place drivers take to the podium. First to accept their trophies, and then their champagne.
3, 2, 1.
What's great about Victory Circle is that Indy team members, the media, and spectators can all come down to see the post-race celebrations. We'll now head over to a post-race press conference to take a quick look at what race winner Will Power thought of the Honda Indy Toronto.
I know how this race goes. I really hung in there. I just waited till I get a little bit close to Dixon and past him, and then I just knew if I made no mistakes, we had good stops, we'd have a chance of finishing on the podium or maybe winning. And that last restart, when I passed Justin, was the key to winning the race.
Will Power's victory in Toronto certainly wasn't easy, but now we'll see just how hard winning at the Honda Indy Toronto can be. This is Sasha Annis, who drives in the Castrol Canadian Touring Car Championship and owns SG Motorsport, a performance tuning garage in Brampton. Let's hear what Sasha had to go through to win his race in Toronto.
The guys have worked so hard this weekend. Like I said to you earlier, with what happened was earlier in the week we put a new engine in Bob's car because we were concerned that his engine was going to expire. The new engine blew up, so we swapped his old engine back in, and then Friday in practice his old engine blew up, as we expected it might. So Friday we towed the car back to the shop. Spent all day swapping the engine. I had to build it. I had to swap internal parts because we use an AEM ECU and there's triggers on the cams. It's a nightmare. So finally we get it back together. We get him for qualifying. He goes out for qualifying, gets hit, and damages a shock, bent. Anyway, we tow it back to the shop again. That's the second time. We think we fix it, bring it back. Race 1, shock's broken. Tow it back to the shop again. Last night we were able to find some street tuner suspension stuff at midnight. One of my friends who's a supplier was at a wedding. We had to wait for him to leave the wedding, install the suspension, 2 a.m., get the car aligned, back on the trailer this morning for Bob to run. So, it's a lot of work.
It certainly is a lot of work just to remain competitive around the street circuit. For drivers, as well as spectators, the Honda Indy Toronto is one thrilling experience. Thanks for watching our coverage of the Honda Indy Toronto. We'll see you next time for more revolutions.